Welcome everyone to Absolutely Marvel NDC, the channel where I sit down with a couple buddies and we chat about your favorite movies, TV shows, trailers, and theories. Today we're going to be talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 4, the oh my god, what is happening episode. If you're unaware, there will be spoilers. My name's Benny, that is Sal, and that is Dylan, and we will be your hosts for today. Your hosts with the most, Cowabunga dude.
That's right.
Nice.
So, Sal, you want to kick this one off? It's always awkward to start these, because you're like, where do I start talking
Right? I guess just the takeaways, because the episode is just, like we were talking off mic, the fact is the show is just a long movie, and so it's like, episode 4 is the rest of the plot from the last episode. It just keeps going. So, but which I'm enjoying without hesitation or, like, any complaints whatsoever. I'm just like, this is a good show. I'm just enjoying it. I mean, I don't like it the way I like shows. Like, there are some shows that are made and constructed to be a show, and then there's like whatever Feige's doing with Disney Plus, where he's like, well, you spent $1 trillion on this thing. All right, we're making long movies now, everybody. Yeah, just get the whole team and bring them over here.
You're not even wrong, actually, to talk about the fact that this is a long movie versus a show. I've been watching the show Shameless for 11 years. A show made by Showtime. So it is a highly produced, great camera. You get huge actors like William H. Macy on the show.
Yeah.
And it's a show. And the last episode aired last night, and I was going to watch it today when we're done here. But every week is structured like a show. Yes, there's a minor cliffhanger, but your plot will normally rise in that episode and resolve in that episode.
Right.
And then the through plot of the season is what the cliffhanger's about. But somebody decided to try and get a job this episode, and that didn't work out well, and they ended up robbing the place, and that's the plot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's a structure to it. Like my wife and I were just getting into Twin Peaks, and we watched like all of it, and like I'm like, this is a show. Like David Lynch is learning how to make a TV show, and it's like we're watching this deconstruction of what like TV was like in 1989, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Falcon Winter Soldier is just here's a segment of the movie, and they kind of structure it like a show. I think that was pointing out with something that Dylan brought up in like episode 1 or 2. When Sam was like, we're going to go see Zemo. It's like, yeah, in a movie, he wouldn't have said that. In the show, they're like, we don't make shows. We have no idea how shows work. I think in a show, they'd say, we're going to go see Zemo, and then we cut to Zemo. Because, like, people are dumber who watch TV. We're making movies here.
It's lower art.
Right, it's a lower form of art, but we're elevating it by putting, like, A-list actors in it. And it's like, dude, they've been doing that since, forever.
I mean, wasn't that Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan's concerns? Why the series is so short? They were like, we don't want our careers to end here.
Yeah.
That was an open concern that they've said, and they're proud of what they made. But when this was pitched to them, they almost said no.
Well, because they're like, and this is actually an antiquated notion now than it was, 20 years ago, but like actors who are in movies are like, I didn't get into this industry to be a TV actor. Like, I'm here to make films. And it's like, dude, then you find out that, like Matthew McConaughey made so much more money making True Detective than he did in making the last like 3 movies he made, and they're like, oh, money though? Yeah, I'm in on TV now. TV's awesome. You can still win an award for making TV shows, right? Okay, then I'm in. And I think
I got one last thing to say on that topic, and they're going to give it to Dylan because I think we've now officially gone like 5 minutes, and all he's been able to do is say yes or no.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about Falcon Winter Soldier. We've only been talking about the structure of TV.
right. Well, but it was funny. I don't know if you guys are aware of the movie Divergent.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So that was supposed to become a TV show. But the actress came out and was like, I will never be at a TV show. I will not do this. If you do this, you're moving on without me.
What a dumbass.
Divergent was supposed to be a trilogy young teen thing. You know what I mean? Like the usual, like Maze Runner and all those movies.
Like the Spiderwick Chronicles.
Right. Sure. But it just didn't do that well. And so the decision was, we're going to move it to TV. Movie. And like, I think like Showtime or some big budget company was like, we'll fund it.
Yeah.
You're coming over, we'll just finish your thing here, we'll get the Divergent TV show. And that actress was like, no, I'm out, I agreed to movies.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yikes.
Yeah, well, that's a shame whoever she is.
Wasn't that the, I forget her name, but she was the one who was supposed to be Mary Jane?
Shailene Woodley.
There we go. Yeah. That's
the one she was Mary Jane. They filmed scenes for that movie.
Deleted scene. That's true.
Cut right out. So there is no canon Mary Jane in that universe.
Wait, which universe? Which one?
The Amazing Spider-Man universe. She's going to be Andrew Garfield's Mary Jane.
I'm actually looking her up now to see if she if her statement moved on perfectly or if she is not in. Divergent was 2013, and since then she had scenes deleted in Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, you know what? Apparently she backtracked on that because in 2015 the series did come out. And she's in it.
Oh, okay. This is how successful
her agent was like, "Shut up and do the TV show."
That reminds me of when Tobey Maguire made Spider-Man 1, and he was like, "I'm out." Spider-Man 2, nah, hurt my back, I'm done. And his agent was like,
hurts.
And my back hurts. I rode horses for a year, and his agent, I remember this vividly, but maybe it's just like. Whatever, the slow passage of time just antiquating my brain, but like I remember his agent coming out and being like, Toby is very excited to be in Spider-Man 2. Like, no. and Tobey Maguire then was in Spider-Man 2 and his agent was fired. Like, Toby apparently is just like a super notorious dude who's just like, you went over my helmet?
How dare you?
Spaceballs joke, but anyway.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's a reference. I think he's making a reference. All right, let's get to Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier.
Let's start the show. Hey, welcome.
I said technically this is all related because we're discussing how it is a long movie and how the structure is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And literally, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan said we don't think this is going to work, but we'll trust in Feige. I will say at least they trusted in Feige in the MCU.
Why wouldn't you at this point? It's 2021. Get over it. Like, yeah. If Feige was like, watch me drive this car with a blindfold on, I'd be like, go for it.
Daredevil confirmed. Daredevil confirmed.
Yeah, Daredevil. But Dylan, sound off, and then we'll talk about the one thing anybody wants us to talk about in this episode.
Yes, we'll get there. Calm down, little viewers.
They're already in the comments. Video starts at 5:45.
Let us play in this space. Let us talk.
This is our space.
Tangential. This is our channel.
Right.
I think the main thing that like this whole show and WandaVision have both kind of been concerned more with character as opposed to plot. And WandaVision had a lot of plot stuff going on. This show doesn't. And usually that would be a criticism, right? And I think it kind of is. But honestly, I don't care.
Right.
Like, I already don't care about the Flag Smashers, and it annoys me that I don't really know what they're doing and what their motives are.
My same complaint is traveled through every one of these reviews. Yeah. What the hell this whole episode was like, no, she doesn't see herself as a villain, guys. So what you need to do is understand she's not a villain in her eyes.
Right. I love when Sam was like, yeah, listen, like, I agree with what you do, just not the way you're doing it. And I'm like, I mean, how could you not, since you have no idea what that is? I mean, it's like, you can just fill it in, whatever. It sounds like you just want, like, you don't want, like, the Israel-Palestine thing to happen. I mean, you're not connected to that in any way, but, like, it sounds like that's the metaphor we're going with. And, like, yeah, I hear you, but, like, maybe don't blow up buildings.
Yeah.
It's like,
right.
Yeah.
It's very weird, the direction that they've gone, because I figured we would get more of an explanation on what the hell they're doing and what their motives are, but the more that they show of, like, oh, here's these refugees who are, like, part of the organization or whatever.
Yep.
But what, like, why are they refugees?
No. The moment when like, this is going back a couple episodes, but where they were like, come on in, we got beds and we got computers and stuff. I'm like, this isn't about any. This is like hackers. It's like, yo, hack the planet. Come on, you could stay in my couch. Like,
you could stay in my couch. I loved this episode. I really did. And you're right. The plot is very light in this because the plot really is stop Flag Smashers. What are Flag Smashers doing? They're rebelling. They're
jerks. It's about super soldiers. Like, the show isn't about Flag Smashers. It's about
it just comes down to what are the Flag Smashers rebelling? They're rebelling against the people coming back after the blip. But like you said in our previous episodes, was there like some crazy ruler during the blip? Are they going to start implying like the Maestro showed up during the blip and made the world better? Like,
right? Or we dissolved the tensions. And I mean, the reality is, I think what they were talking about was like, because there were fewer people, more countries were willing to work together and trade resources and like, you know, the lines were blurred in terms of like trade and you know, stigmas and stuff.
But the problem is they haven't explained that. They haven't explained what was so much better in the blip.
They just didn't show it. Like,
Right.
show me
It's like
the
2
world in 5
lines.
years.
It's like 2 lines in the earlier episodes where Carly is like, yeah, we want to go back to the way things were in the blip, where like borders were more open. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, but also we never saw that, and you did. So
We're not even
saw
getting
that.
flashback sequences. Flashback sequences could have easily accommodated this,
Yeah.
but I feel like the show is so moved, and I don't think of this as a bad thing, but it's just our villains don't have a lot of solid motivation, just so that we can get to the next Winter Soldier Falcon fight sequence.
Yeah.
Which is, everyone has been incredible. The choreographing, the way they fight,
Yeah.
everything going
Yeah.
on with the character. I have loved all of that. And it's almost like the way they've structured is like, okay, so the Flag Smashers just want things to go back to the way they were. We can all agree on that, right? To the way they were. If someone chimes in like, well, how were they? No, don't worry about that. They just want it to go back to the way it was. Because this movie is actually about John Walker, Baron Zemo, Falcon, and Winter Soldier. There just needs to be something for them to all come together to fight against and disagree about.
Yeah.
Because that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think now to smooth transition into the thing that people want us to talk about, I think now that John has lost his mind,
Fully. He's fully lost his mind.
I think hopefully the Flag Smashers are they're still gonna be around, obviously, but they're gonna take a back seat, and now we're gonna deal more with crazy Captain America.
Yeah.
I think here's my prediction for the direction this is going to go. The Flag Masters aren't taking a back. Well, the Flag Smashers are. That girl's not.
Carly,
John is now going to chase her for the next 2 episodes, because it's 2 left, right? And the next 2 episodes going to be her trying to survive and see, like, well, he agrees and, like, basically flip her view on everything.
Yeah.
While Falcon and Winter Soldier are chasing John, trying to prevent him from going crazy, and the Dora Milaje are going to be chasing Zemo, who has gone off on his own. I get a feeling Zemo's done dealing with Winter Soldier and Falcon. I feel like Zemo and the Dora Milaje are their own thing now. Well,
That'd be cool.
The next 2 episodes are going to be broken up between these 2 finales, almost like how we had Vision versus Vision and Scarlet Witch. I think now it's going to be Zemo versus the Dora Milaje. He's going to have some hidden army or something to fight them, because, oh my God, were they incredible.
They were great. Great fight sequence, and a great moment for John, because, like, you know that dude was like, bunch of chicks kicked my ass.
Yeah, right. They took my shield, and then they gave it back to me?
Well, they're like, I mean, you already painted it. Like, what are we going to do with this?
It's like, I love that moment, because it's like, you realize in that moment that, like, yeah, that's theirs. Like, that's not America's. That's their shield.
Yeah.
It's vibranium.
It's like, this guy doesn't deserve this thing, and, like, she knew that, but...
Well,
was like, nah, give it
I
back.
think everyone in America forgot Steve's was destroyed, and didn't he have like that electronic Tony Stark one for a little while? For like a little bit of Infinity War or something?
I'm pretty sure Tony just added magnets to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it
Because
was the same shield.
Yeah, in Infinity War, he had the Wakandan, like, telescoping shield.
Yeah, like the 2 things.
Yeah, that, like,
punch
split
people
apart.
with.
And, yeah, he had that. I'm trying to remember if there was an energy shield. I don't think so. You know what? There's an energy shield, I think, in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. I mean,
Yes,
it's in the
there
comics,
is.
but, like, I think that's the visual medium I'm remembering. Yes.
Yeah, I think you're
Energy
right. I think that's
shield.
what I'm thinking of too. Yeah.
I think
yeah,
that's
I mean,
what
Yeah.
that's what Skrull Captain America has.
Right. Thank
But
you.
when actual comes back, he's got the actual shield. But it
Yeah.
it was broken in Endgame, so I don't.
It was broken at Endgame, but we went
I guess
back
they
in
just fixed
time.
it? Oh.
No, it was not fixed.
Right.
That's
he grabbed
that's,
it from. That makes sense.
That's the pre-time shield that didn't get broken. Now here's the question: alternate timeline or current timeline?
Well,
is that a shield?
Loki's fixing that. Loki's fixing that. That's in 2 months, Sal. We're
If Loki fixes it, does that mean that their shield will disappear or break? Because I feel
don't
like it
think-
has to be an alternate timeline shield.
Yeah, I think after Endgame, Marvel has just like decided that they do not want to mess with like time ripples. Just anytime something would make a ripple, alternate universe. Like, don't worry about it. Which I think
worry
is
about
very clean. Like, I don't want to deal with that nonsense either.
That's the
I
Doctor
hate
Doom
time
time
travel.
machine principle. It's literally just like, if you go back in time, you will create an alternate reality. End of story,
Yes.
no questions asked.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, that's it.
Next
Fine.
Generation did it the worst, where they would go back in time and then, we altered everything. Like, that's not how it works.
Those episodes are some of the best episodes of the series.
But no, I I like the direction they're taking this. The Dora Milaje were amazing in their battle sequence. What about the disarming of the Winter Soldier, where she just was like, boop, 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 boop,
That was dope.
It was dope. Yeah. Yeah. And my concern at the end of the battle where he's just still, not wearing it, I was like, did she turn it off?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first too.
Like, you don't get that anymore. You don't get to have the arm. And he's like, no, it just pops back on. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, because that would have been very interesting.
I would like to just shout out Sebastian Stan, man. That opening scene, the cold open where he's in Wakanda and they're deprogramming him, and he just finally you see when he comes to the realization of everything that he does. Good Lord, that
Good
man.
stuff.
And then he smiles at the end because he's happy that he's free. Whoa, that is a mix of emotions. That
it is.
Ooh, that is tough to pull off, I am sure.
Yeah.
I do like how this episode is revealing more of what happened to him in Wakanda, because as far as the movies were concerned, it was like, we saved the Winter Soldier. We're dropping them off on you, Black Panther. That was the
you deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, and Black Panther's like, and you deal with it, Dora Milaje. I don't have time for that crap.
Winter Soldiers got passed through everyone in the Wakandan area, and then it just, by the time we get to Endgame, it was like, oh, no, Infinity War. It's like, oh, he's good. He's better now.
Yeah, just put him in a field. Make him live in a hut.
Can't kill anyone in a hut. There's nobody around.
Yeah. End of story.
I do like the beginning of the Dora Milaje scene, though. Both him and Falcon were just kind of like, we're not getting involved. You're going to live real quick. You don't want to get involved, John. What are you doing?
Don't do it, dude. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, no, I like that it didn't immediately turn... John Walker didn't immediately go I'm the bad guy. The audience did that for him. Yes. But we get to this point where it's it wasn't that he took the super soldier serum and it augmented his douchebaggery. It just, he has an inferiority complex, which is justifiable and understandable, by the way. Yeah. Because he's constantly surrounded by his betters. And the U.S. government's like, we got this. And he's like, I know you don't got this. I fought in a battle that showed that you don't got this. Yeah. And you awarded me for it. I'm constantly being awarded for things where I am lesser than my betters, and that sucks. Then he takes the super soldier serum, and his partner dies, and he's like, screw this. I also, did you guys see the thing as well that was the guy who was a Captain America fan got his head chopped off by Captain America. That's really sad.
Oh, no. I want to talk about that a little bit, because I saw a lot of people reacting to this episode being like, wow, they can show that on Disney Plus. This is crazy. But that just seemed like normal, Marvel MCU levels of gore to me. If they had
didn't actually show anything. It's just a bloody
chopping
shield.
The head off the Boys style, I would have been like, yes, let's go.
I was surprised we didn't get as much of a direct reference to the fact that his head was severed from his body. I'm basically still assuming that's the case. The amount of blood on the shield suggests that is the case, but we get it. The fact is, this is on an app where you can also access Tailspin, so
right. Recommend Ratatouille right after this. So
it auto plays into it.
Yeah.
No, it auto plays into Soul. It goes into the other latest movie.
Right. You saw a show that featured death. Would you like to watch this movie about?
Would you like to watch Raja and the Last Dragon?
You got to pay $30.
Oh, no.
Overall, I did like this movie. I like this movie a lot so far.
I'm enjoying this movie.
4 hours of this movie.
Same.
The Flag Smasher deal, I got a feeling my complaints are going to hold all the way to the ending with the pace we're going. They're not giving us any... I thought this was... Literally, when the episode started, it was kind of about her and Sebastian Stan. I was like, this is going to be it. This is going to be the episode to give her this massive backstory and show that she's the power broker and give her purpose and everything. And I'm going to be having to go on our next episode and go, I was wrong. Love the Flag Smashers.
See, for me... I remember this past episode was the moment where I went, oh, okay. We're done developing Carly's character. We're done making you feel for her. Sam's emotional journey for the rest of the show is going to be trying to save Carly and learning that you can't save everybody.
You know what? Speaking of that, I think that's why they tried to make us care about Carly. It didn't work, but I think the reason they wanted us to care is so that when Falcon... Because if they didn't give us anything to care about, him wanting to talk her down...
Yeah.
we would have been like, what is wrong? No, stop. Go just attack her. Like,
right, exactly. But like, I mean, yeah, I like the idea that that informs Sam's deserving of being Captain America. It's like, I do things differently. I have a moral code, and it may be in direct contrast to like the way everything's going. But like, I follow my own drum and I do my own thing, and it's like, that's what Captain America is. Like, that's why you deserve to be Captain America.
Yeah,
and
I think that was a really important distinction to make. That was made in this episode. Like, the point of like the third act of this episode was to show the differences between John Walker, who is Captain America, and Sam Wilson, who thought so highly of Captain America that he thought he didn't deserve it.
Yeah,
but it's clearly, like, you can see in this episode, Sam is being Captain America, and John is murdering people.
Right. By the way,
which Captain America does. Like, you don't kick a guy off of a boat and send him hurling. He's dead before he hits the water. But
well, didn't Sam kill like 2 helicopters worth of people on the opening of the show? Like, these are people who kill. These are heroes who kill.
Yes.
And you know what?
Marvel's always done that, though.
Marvel didn't mess around at all.
No, they've done that in the comics, they've done the shows, they've done in the movies. They don't explicitly show them killing people, but they do kill people, which has always made it so weirdly in contrast to DC, where they're like, we don't cross that line. Like, you have God powers. This guy over here is with a gun.
Oh, no. Well, the real thing is people going like, Superman can't kill people. I can't believe you snapped that one demigod's neck. And it's like, and us being like, woo, blast him again, Iron Man. And I'm those people. Like, I'm the person who's like, Superman shouldn't have done that. And it's like, yeah, watch Iron Man kill all these people. Ha ha ha. Like, and it's like, because Iron Man's a guy in a flight suit, and Superman can fly up and not snap his neck. Like, we don't need that.
Yeah, exactly.
Superman finds another way. Iron Man is a rich billionaire playboy philanthropist in a nuke.
Right. Like, it would make sense for him to, like that scene in Iron Man 1 where like they don't play it off as he just killed a bunch of people, but when it's like the terrorists have all those like hostages and he just like puts smart rockets on them, they're all dead.
Or when he fires his twin flamethrowers,
right.
He wasn't lighting barbecues. He was murdering people with fire.
Can we talk about how many people Captain America killed in Winter Soldier? You're a Hydra. Kick! Stab, shield chuck.
Oh, they're in Hydra? Well, then the gloves are off. Here we go. Sitwell dives for laughs.
It's true. For
the record, I loved that John Walker threw the shield to Baron Zemo, and I was looking for a cut or something, and he's just like, "Oh, I got a headache." Like, I think you'd be dead.
You'd be dead.
Most likely.
You'd be dead. You don't get bonked. You die.
Maybe
but you know what? All right.
Zemo's just sitting there with a whiskey and a cold compress. I'm like, what?
I was waiting for that moment for Zemo to be like, yeah, I totally took the serum. I'm a big hypocrite. What do you want from me?
I was waiting for that too.
I spent a whole movie crying about my parents, and then I'm dancing in a club. Like, come on. Yeah, I'm totally full of shit.
Yeah, I was thinking for sure when he stumbled upon the vials, like before he started smashing them, he was going to grab one and pocket it.
I did like him smashing them. I think that there's enough of a cut between things. He did grab one.
Maybe. You could easily...
They could use that later easily. That could easily happen.
20? He didn't stomp 20 times. And he didn't stomp 19 times, I'll tell you that.
Let's. I want to talk about real quick before we close out of this episode. Overall, the end thoughts. I loved it. You guys assuming you loved this episode. I thought it was great. Yeah, the action I thought kept a good pace. Totally. I do think it's paced like a long movie. Even my wife commented like it feels like we're just watching a long movie, and I'm like, we are. I don't think they figured out how they want to do this yet, but
do this
or
I'll
this.
Take 4-hour MCU movies. Are you kidding me?
I think I still haven't watched the trailer for Loki, but it seems from what I understand, Loki is going to be the one about plot, and like very heavy plot stuff. In that
I feel like they're going to go back and forth.
These two are about character.
It's going to be
sure. I mean, that's what a good show would do. It goes back and forth, but like obviously,
no, I think Marvel's got to go back and forth. I feel like WandaVision was our big like emotional ride, acting, and this one's more like okay, there's a plot. But it's like it's an action plot. So at any point the Expendables could show up and you wouldn't even question it. Like
yeah, that I am getting Expendables vibe from this show, but in a good way.
Yeah. The last thing I want to ask though is, and I only really caught on to this episode, and I know it was a part of John Walker's turn, but I've noticed this since the beginning. And we're going to talk more about the money aspect. But is it just me, or does everyone knows who Falcon and Winter Soldier are? but they get like zero respect from anything other than like fan vibes. Like John Walker immediately showed up and he's like, I'm Captain America now, I gotta do what I say. Like, or they stopped Thanos. Like,
right. Yeah, but most of these people don't even know who Thanos is, right? Like, they didn't see the fight. They didn't have like drones filming the whole damn thing, which they absolutely should have. And I'm surprised there wasn't any amateur drone user in the like New York, rural area, who was like just screwing around in his backyard.
What's with the booms?
He's like, whoa, there's some explosions. Like, this is awesome.
I feel like we would have seen that if Netflix Marvel was still around, because that was like the big thing about the first phase of Netflix Marvel was you would occasionally see like people selling like VHS copies of the Battle of
the Chitauri
New York.
invasion. Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
So it is interesting because we Far From Home kind of clued us into like what the public knows about like Infinity War and Endgame and all of that, but it is kind of
which is very little.
Like, yeah, like what exactly? Like, does the public have a picture of Thanos? Like, they know who Thanos is, but do they really? Like, what all do they exactly know? Because we saw the alien invasion, like when Ebony Maw and the big guy who I can never remember his name, when they came down.
Obsidian?
Yeah, that's the dude. When they came down, there were news crews on him and on those two. So we have photos of them, but like. It is interesting. Like, what all does the public know?
Yeah, what a weird picture that paints, where it's like, so, okay, there was a big donut in the sky. This, we know for certain, there's a one-armed monster in the Arctic. And there was, like, a ghost man. Then, everyone died. And
what happened?
And then, there was a big explosion in upstate New York. And that's all we... Oh, and now we don't have Captain America and Iron Man anymore.
Right.
I don't know. I just find it really weird. Just John Walker's... in the beginning, he was straight up like, no, I'm doing the right. I know you guys. You all worked with him. It's all good. We'll figure this out. Yep. And by this episode, he's just like, screw you guys. Like, you do what I say because I'm Captain America.
Well, and I feel a little bad for him because, he's like, come on, guys, let's work together. And they're like, nah, we're a part of an exclusive club that punched Thanos. And he's like, okay, cool. But, like, the guy who wore this costume that, like, punched Thanos too is like 105 and living on the moon.
Living on the moon.
And they're like, yeah, but no. And he's like, okay, well, then I guess I'll just be the best I can be. And they're like, that's not good enough. And he's like, why? It's never good enough.
I
enough, John.
Completely.
I feel like he's like, you guys are so mean. I want to go make my own club.
I'm very much expecting like the U.S. government to go like, no, we made Captain America. We're gonna make an Iron Man. We're gonna make a Hulk. Like we got an Abomination. We've got Justin
There's your
Hammer.
Armor
So
Wars
he can,
plot.
Yeah, please, come on. Armor Wars should just be the U.S. government did not stop at John Walker, and they're just gonna make an Avengers.
Yeah, they like you've been wanting. They contract Justin Hammer. They're like, hey, you want to finish the stuff that you were working on like 6 years ago?
Right?
And he's like,
Justin
hold
Hammer
on.
and Walton Goggins.
I've got it under a tarp, and they hold on. Let's just finish.
I really like the that vibe that they're putting out. That because everyone in these MCU movies, especially with Infinity War and Endgame, has been like put on a pedestal, and it's interesting to see like the lower people who are around here and are still doing like heroic things, how they react to seeing these like big people who have been a part of all of it. It's very cool.
Yeah, agreed.
But I'm enjoying the episode. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I am expecting the next two episodes to be like the wrap up. Basically, Dora Milaje. Apparently, we're getting a big cameo next episode. For the record, it's been floating everywhere.
Okay.
So I get a feeling if we get that Black Panther one, we theorized it's next episode.
It's Mephisto.
Finally.
Agatha shows up. That's it.
Yep. Another song.
No, yeah, she'll show up. It was Agatha all along. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed Absolutely Marvel at DC and this discussion. Please stick around. We're going to be chatting about Invincible, and then we're going to be talking about how Avengers are paid. That's another discussion we're going to be having today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time right here